Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ZSB Podcast. I'm the host, Nathan Liu, and today our guest is Max Pröbstle. Is that how you say your name?
It's better than most people pronounce it, yeah.
Could you just introduce yourself? Maybe tell us how to pronounce it correctly.
Sure. So, like Nathan said, I'm Max. My last name is pronounced Pröbstle, which is Austrian because I'm originally from Austria. And I'm a grad student at the ZSB School of Business, doing an MBA with a focus on healthcare management.
So you're from Austria and you graduated from the Vienna University of Economics and Business. I saw that. And so how did you end up at the ZSB School of Business?
So the long version is I was born in Austria, but we moved to America when I was a little kid because my dad actually went to Andrews University.
Okay.
Any of the Adventist listeners are going to know who that, like where that is. It's in Michigan because my dad's a pastor, so he studied theology there. Anyway, we moved back shortly after. And so after graduating high school, I moved to Vienna to get my undergrad in business, economics, and social sciences. And then I was trying to think of what I want to do after I graduate from undergrad. And I wanted to do something with healthcare related because even though I'm in business, I still feel like I'm motivated by helping others. And I kind of want to feel like I have a little more purpose in my life than just making money for a big company or something like that. So I thought maybe I should get into healthcare. And then kind of my thought process was best opportunities for that are, in my opinion, in the US. And so I thought I should get a graduate degree kind of in that field in business in the US. So I started to look at universities and I wanted to go to an Adventist institution for that. So my first choice was La Sierra. So that's like kind of the long version of why I'm here.
Nice. And then you're currently in Enactus as the finance manager. And what kind of responsibilities do you have within that organization right now?
So I'm in collaboration with two other people. We're in charge of the finances for one of the projects in Enactus, which is the Freight to Table project, which kind of revolves around this freight farm that we're having shipped to campus in about a couple of weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, I think, which is basically we grow plants hydroponically inside a giant container, like a freight. And so for that project, what we're working on is figuring out how much we should produce, what the costs are for that, how much we're going to sell it for, who we're going to sell it to, and that's kind of the budgeting is kind of what we're focused on right now at this point of the project.
Nice. And then could you just tell me a little bit about your internship at OMV? What kind of a company was that, and like what kind of things did you learn while you were with them?
Sure. So OMV is a oil and gas player in the EU, pretty much. They do some stuff in Southeast Asia as well, but they're mainly focused on Europe. And so my internship there was right after, well, it was towards the end of my undergrad degree, and during my internship I graduated, so it was kind of it overlapped my undergrad degree a little bit. And what I did there was I worked in corporate strategy for this oil and gas company, and basically what we did was we did a couple of projects mainly focused around peer analyses. So peer groups, we looked at different peer groups. So BP, Shell, to name a couple of the bigger companies that people might be familiar with. We looked at, let me name one in particular. We looked at new energy solutions. So things that those companies were doing in the area of new energy solutions when it came to wind or solar, things like that. Kind of looked at their investment strategies in the last couple of years and moving forward. And then put that all together. This is like a team of 10 people. put that into a management presentation for the executive board, and then also the supervisory board, and then the head of the department would present that to the executive board, and then get input on that and kind of move forward from there. So that's what I did for about half a year. Kind of worked on projects like that. Super interesting. The industry was interesting to me because I was new to it. I don't think I would want to work there for like 20 or 30 years because I think I'd get bored. But the work itself was extremely interesting, and I learned a lot because it was my first big internship coming out of undergrad, and they give you a lot of responsibilities, and you feel like you're actually contributing to the company overall because you kind of have this touch point with the C-suite that makes you feel like you're contributing to the overall direction that the company's moving in. So interesting experience for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you said you're doing a master's in healthcare management. And so what kind of job opportunities are you hoping to get with that?
So I'm actually applying to jobs right now. My overall goal is I would love to continue working in corporate strategy. And so what I'm trying to target right now is maybe business analyst positions or financial analyst positions, preferably even something in corporate strategy in either a healthcare organization, for example, companies that are structured similar to Adventist Health or Advent Health, to kind of give an idea of what companies I'm looking at, or in the pharmaceutical sector or life sciences, companies that have to do with those kind of areas. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Nice. And then what do your next 5 years look like? Like that, obviously, and then what else do you hope you achieve by then?
Well, the next 5 years I can tell you what I hope is going to happen, but they could look drastically different depending on what happens, if I get a job in the US or not. And yeah, so it's all up in the air right now, but preferably what I would like to see happen is hopefully, like I said, an entry-level position in the healthcare sector, and then kind of move up from there. I'm interested because I've done an internship in kind of the healthcare area, but I've never really worked for a bigger healthcare company. So I'm interested to see if that line of work will suit me well, or if I'll enjoy it or not. I'm hoping I do. And so in the next couple of years, just kind of get a feel for the industry, maybe get a promotion or two, hopefully. And I don't know, just see where it takes me. I'm very open to pretty much anything that comes my way. So I'm excited for the next couple of years. They're definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could be that like I know companies, because I need a sponsorship because I'm here on an F1 student visa. So in order to work here, I need an H-1B visa, which companies will have to sponsor you for. So it could just be that after graduate school, I move back to Austria and we'll find a job in Europe, I guess. It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully you're able to stay here like you want.
Yeah.
And then, so what are some of the ways that you've motivated yourself during this time where everything's online, work, school?
One way, I don't suggest this as a tool of motivation for most people, but so tuition in Austria is free, right? Most of Europe has free tuition for higher education. So coming here, it was a slight increase in pressure on me to do good at school and then get a job afterwards, because I'm paying a lot to be here. So that's an easy source of motivation. Maybe not the right motivation that everyone wants to have, but that's one way I motivate myself. Though, myself, hey buddy, you paid a lot of money to be here. You better put in the work. Something else is I think what I found very motivating is by being an activist in other campus organizations like the Investment Club, shameless plug. Just being in those organizations, you surround yourself with people who kind of have the same mentality, who are also motivated, who want to get things done. You work on projects with them. So I think that like group dynamic helps you feel motivated to kind of pursue what you're after, even if you're at home and on Zoom. You still meet with people daily, and you kind of share these experiences, and it just helps uplift you and motivate you a bit.
Nice. And who would you say has had the biggest impact on your life thus far?
That's a hard question. Biggest impact on my life, probably my boss during the internship at OMV, who actually came to the company just 2 or 3 months before I did, and kind of watching how she grew into her role. She was a younger executive and was put in charge of people who were older than her, who had been at the company for like 20 years, and she was like brand new there. So it was really interesting to see her leadership, and kind of, I worked with her a lot, and there were like long days in the office, and it was just really cool to see how she grew into her role while at the same time leading the people around her. I think that had a big impact on how I see leadership, how I want to be moving forward. Another person was my advising professor when I wrote my bachelor's thesis, just because I spent so much time with her going over kind of what to write in my paper and how to approach the whole process. So I think those people, just for the mere reason that I've spent a lot of time with them professionally, and that those interactions, I'm pretty sure, kind of molded me into what I am today. Okay, yeah.
And last question for you. Do you have any authors or content creators that you recommend everybody checks out?
Yes, actually I do. Authors, I don't know if anyone is familiar with John Cotter. I believe he's a professor at Harvard Business School. He writes a lot of interesting books on leadership, in particular change management, which I think is a really important area that's becoming increasingly important in organizations. So he has his own change model. So if anyone's interested, it's called the 8-step change model. Super interesting stuff. He writes a couple books. Not all of them are super dry business literature. A couple are built up on stories that kind of weave these business concepts into them. So if you guys are interested in that, check John Cotter out. Social media content creator wise, there's a person I follow on Instagram. He's called the Millennial Money Mentor. If anyone is interested in investing, doesn't know a lot about it yet, and it just kind of wants to get a feel for it, this dude, super interesting guy, down to earth, kind of describes investing content and also like ideas, like breaks them down for you in simple posts. Interesting dude. I think his name is Jose Hernandez. Super cool guy. Anyway, check him out on Instagram if you're interested in investing or just getting to know a little bit more about that. Pretty cool dude.
All right. I'll definitely have to check that out myself. All right. Thank you, Max, for joining us today, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
No worries. Thanks for having me.